Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, Jon Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hello, everybody. We are back. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself, Jon Orlando. And of course, I bring as the second part of we, Bill Krackomberger, the crack man, is with us. Of course, It's your show.
We're here, my man. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. A fun week. This is a big weekend in a lot of ways, not just the big playoff weekend to decide who goes in the Super Bowl, but it's also, some UFC fights and just a big basketball weekend. Always like these. There's only so many of these basketball weekends for me, so they're always big.
Yeah, there's definitely lots to talk about. But before we get into all that, I want to talk about, I went, since our last show, I took a little day trip, a 36-hour trip to Atlantic City to hang out with you. And wow, I don't even know where to begin. Let me begin with, I never knew that Spirit Airlines is okay if you're in those first two rows. Is it two rows on every flight that's like that with those incredible big giant chairs?
Yes, the big front seats, and you have to get them in the front row. So to all our listeners and viewers, yes, Jon and I scooted out of town for a 36-hour trip here. And, we're back safely and everything's cool. But yeah, those big front seats are the way to go. If you're going to fly to Atlantic City, so you're going to fly into Philadelphia, it's either I fly the Spirit Airline big front seats, or I fly, there's only a couple other ways to go. You could fly the American first class, which is not bad. You wouldn't believe it. You can catch those flights for about $500 each way. Same thing to Newark, New Jersey. They're about a nickel each way if you get them on time. But I like it's not a big deal for the Spirit big front seats. They're about
listen. So it's like, how much is a ticket like that Spirit ticket? Is that
if you catch it on time, you can get that ticket for as little as $150 each way.
Yeah, listen to me. I am a snob when it comes to flying. It drives Vanessa crazy because I'm like first class. Like I can't do the little those seats. I can't do it. I never have flown Spirit because in my head, Spirit is like Allegiant. It's like one of those I can't do it.
Yeah.
Spirit, those first two seats, I would gladly fly that.
I'm sorry, Jon, I didn't hear you.
No, I was saying I would gladly fly on Spirit in those first two seats. It's incredible. It is first class.
It is. It is like a first class, and it's big seats. And I hate to give Spirit so much plugs because I'll tell you right now, their service isn't the best, and their flights aren't always on time, but the seats are good. So
the seats were good. Yeah. So I should tell everybody listening. So I get this random call out of the blue last week. Crack calls me up and he says, "Hey, I know it's last minute notice, but you want to go to Atlantic City tomorrow?" And of course, I didn't skip a beat, and I said, "Yes, I'm in. I want to go." And from the second that we landed until the time when it was time to come home, I had so much fun and there's so much I want to talk about this. So much more of a new respect for you. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, let's just talk about food, because we had some great food. You, for some reason, were apologizing about the food on the first night because we got a late start for dinner. But we went to this little, I don't remember the name of it, but it was like this little hole in a wall. I want to say on the boardwalk, Italian place that was incredible.
It was just off the boardwalk. Tony Baltimore Grill. They've been there for 50, 60 years. And, I pointed out to you, Jon, the neon outside the glass is almost like the glass that was in The Godfather when they went to the restaurant Louis in the Bronx. It's the same type of thing there. It's pretty cool, old school red neon. And, you can still get a plate of spaghetti there for $10. But I'll tell you, the reason why I apologize, it's not my favorite. It's more of a place that you guys are all drinking all night. It's like a last night, last minute thing to go 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. You can go eat something there. They make pizzas. It's a bar pie. It's not bad. It's not. Listen, I wouldn't have took you there. It was bad, but I wanted to go to more like a. I have my regular spots in Atlantic City, like Doc's Oyster House. There's Knife and Fork Inn, Chef Vola, these are more a little more upscale, but I love them. I love going over to Ocean City and there's Summers Point. There's seafood restaurants there, and So where we go to second night, John? I forget.
The second night we didn't because I tapped out. To my shock, Crack has more energy than I do. I will publicly say this man goes like, you're a legend. It's unbelievable. Seriously. I found a whole new, I'm just bouncing all over the place here, but have a whole new respect for what you do. I want to talk about that real quick here. Not even real quick. I want to get into it. It's one thing to pick games correctly, right? That's hard enough, Crack. It's hard for anyone that's betting, right? And the process is what I've realized is completely different for most, right? So if I'm just with my buddies and I go, like last week, I'm like, yeah, Brady. I said on the show a few weeks ago, I'm going to ride Brady all the way until he loses. I'm just going to bet on Brady. I have really no scientific data. I'm not crunching numbers. It's just my gut feeling. I think Brady just always finds a way to win, right? That's how I arrive. It's like I might as well be throwing darts at a board on how I come up with my picks. You, my friend, I knew you did homework, but to watch you do the homework is a whole nother level. I don't think the people at home even understand. First of all, Crack has this gigantic iPad. And on this iPad, he's got every line at every book. And you're constantly, you've said before you line shop, but I don't know if everyone, the process of watching you line shop, I in my head thought, okay, so you just look at all the books and you find the best line and that's where you go bet. Yes, that's true. But you're doing it in real time, constantly, like a shark swimming through the water, looking for what it's going to eat. Because I didn't realize, and it may be stupid on me for not realizing this, Crack, and I'll let you get on the mic here in a second, but I didn't realize that line is changing up and down in real time, literally second by second at, I don't even know how many books you're looking at, 20 of them right there. I'm making up a number, but speak on that for a little bit.
Well, first off, I didn't know this is the first time you're mentioning this, so I didn't even know you felt this way. That was interesting that you were so perceptive and watched this because you really didn't say nothing to me about it.
I didn't because I knew I wanted to talk about it on the show, so I didn't want to do it in person.
Yeah, this comes so natural to me. I'm not one of those guys that goes to a casino and I'm forced to bet in that casino with that line. So I'm always going to have my line services up there. When in a place like New Jersey, I have Odds Trader up, and Odds Trader shows me every line from New Jersey. It's a really good website that I use. It could show you all the different lines in all the jurisdictions you're at, but New Jersey, it just shows you all of them, and I have a ton of them there. So I always use Odds Trader when I'm traveling. But also I use the Don Best screen. I have them both up. I have two iPads, by the way, and two phones going at the same time.
Yeah.
Always trying to notes on one phone and do something on the other phone. So it comes so natural to me. I don't even think it's anything special. But now to hear either or someone say it like yourself, I guess that is. I know it's very unusual. So to hear you say it, and thank you for the kind words.
No, really, it was fascinating to me because I almost can't explain it. It's like, to hear you always give us the bottom line, right? It's like, so this line opened at blank and then it went to blank and it's good value here. And so that's what I do. But when you're watching you make those decisions in real time, it is mind blowing. It really is, because you
probably see me now that I'm thinking about it. When you were next to me, sitting in the chair next to me, you probably see me. And by the way, guys, he was next to me for hours. So, you probably see me passing on something, which is the hardest thing for a
Yes.
gambler. So, in other words, I'll if I'm betting a college basketball game -4, and then it goes to 4.5, I'll say, all right, no, pass. I'm not laying 4.5. Where someone would say, it's still going to win by 8 or 10 or 20. Yeah, bet it. Not me.
Yeah.
I'm very, very
Yeah.
schooled
You
in betting that line. So that's also a skill set. It's very hard to obtain. And trust me, I didn't do that at first. I was like everybody else. It took me a long time to learn the value of these points, especially in college basketball games, low totals and low points like that, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all key numbers.
Yeah, and it's like you said, you kind of at one point kind of made me your assistant for the day, and which was really a lot of fun. But I got to tell you, I got nervous. It was so interesting to really watch you work, and because it's like I have a whole newfound respect for the craft, and I didn't realize that it is a craft. 100%. It was unbelievable. And there was even one time because you handed me, or no, I was on my phone and you were like, hey, look up this line, right? And I don't remember what the game was. And I want to say you were hoping it was going to be -6.5, or it had been -6.5. And then it went to 7 and you were like, never mind. And like that discipline, like dude, like now I see why we lose the amount that we lose and why you win the amounts that you win, because that discipline and that attention to the detail and really respecting the numbers, that's your business, right?
Yeah. Like I said, again, it's a skill set, but you have to realize that makes the difference between losing and winning. So you have to stick with what makes money. And definitely, I know it's like I keep on beating this into people, and they must think I'm crazy. Shopping lines is where it's at. If you can't shop lines, then you're just doing this recreationally or trying to have a little bit of fun. And I always relate it to people going out to dinner or a movie or on vacation. If you want to do it like that, and it's going to cost you money in the end, though, you have to have more. You don't have to be me. You don't have to have 20 different outs, and New Jersey has 21 different sports books. You don't have to have 10 of them, but I want you to have 3 or 4, and I want you to have some different line sets. And if you're in Vegas, you should have 3 or 4 there too. Go to the casino that you're staying in. Obviously, you're going to have that line set to bet, but you also should have a couple other apps funded in Las Vegas. I'll tell you the ones to finance. I'll tell you the ones to fund. The ones that don't like me betting or won't let me bet, I'll tell you right now, you should fund William Hill, you should fund Stations, and you should fund the Coast, the Boyd properties. You should fund them. Have them, including the casino you're sitting in. Maybe you'll be sitting in an MGM casino. This way you'll have yourself 4 line sets, and you should spread out your money equally. I know you guys want to touch your money after the game and count your money and take it to the crap table, the blackjack table. But like I said, if you want to do that, you want to have fun, just have the one place, enjoy yourself. I have no problem with that, but in the end, you'll make more having different line sets and different juice. We're talking about playoffs, and then we're talking about the deep playoffs. We're talking these teams, whoever wins goes to the Super Bowl. But these big games this weekend, I bet a lot of props. I can't have one place with props. You got to have all different places with prop bets, and you should definitely make sure you guys have more. But you'll see it. You'll see the difference in lines, especially on props. Last week I seen Brady over under 2.5 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns at one spot. So you'll win at one spot and push at one spot because 2 is it's going to land either 1, 2, or 3. So anyway, I'm going off on tangents here.
No, it's great. So you might be proud of me. Well, proud, but still shake your head. So in terms of the line shopping, so now I really get it. I mean, I get it before, but now, watching you do it is a game changer. And then for you, so I made a bet, just like you said, and I felt guilty for making the bet at the window because I already had done the line shopping with you. And I know I'm getting the wrong line, but same thing. I wanted to touch the money after the game, after the fact. So I bet it in the book there. Luckily, I still won it, but it bothered me that like I'm not getting the right price for this. Like it actually bothered me. Like, who am I? You've changed me, Bill Krackomberger. You've changed me.
Well, and you're going to win it 9 out of 10 times. If I win, you're going to win. But it's that 10th time that's going to cost you money in the end. And God forbid, I lay 4. If I lay 4.5 on a game and you lay 5.5 on a game and it lands on 5, or I win and you lose, it's a two-game swing. That's going to happen. So make sure you have your places to make sure you have one place to bet. That's all I can tell you.
And you brought up prop bets moments ago, and I jumped in on some prop bets with you, and you absolutely crushed. I think you got them all right. Maybe one was wrong. I don't know. I wasn't even keeping. You got so many right, I can't even keep track. And that's not me blowing smoke.
Yeah, no, the NBA games have props on them every night. The NFL games on the weekend, of course, have props every night. I think I actually didn't win them all, but I went 8-2. So
okay.
We won a net, and I gave Jon. I'm not going to say how much. I talked him into it. I said, Jon, you should take a couple bucks on these prop bets, and we did very well together. So that's good. Good for you, Jon. Good for you listening.
So let me ask you on those prop bets. So a lot of them are, let's say, for football, right? Receiving yards, longest receiving yard. How are you? I mean, can you tell us how are you getting that? How are you arriving at picking those? Like there's no way you're doing like what me and my buddies would do. Like, yeah, I think he'll get, he should score 2 touchdowns. That's not what's happening, is it? This is you've got some sort of a system or something that's yielding these incredible results.
Well, it's a model. It's not. There's no. I don't have a favorite player. Oh, I love him. He's going to score points, or he's not going to score points. No, it's a very super sophisticated algorithm model that my guys use, and we come up with proposition bets on all different things, NBA, NFL, like I said. So it's not just me putting my heart and soul and allegiance in anything. My only allegiance, as I always say, is my bankroll. So, it's not as complicated as you think. Just put yourself in Joe Public or / Jon Orlando's shoes. Sorry. So, what do? You're rooting for guys to score. You're rooting for touchdowns. You're rooting for yardage. You're rooting for your receivers, especially. These marquee games, what do? They have an hour pregame show. You have a week they've been talking about the game. They're only focusing on the starters, the 4 or 5 starting players that are the marquee names on the teams, quarterbacks, of course, wide receivers, and running backs. That's really about it. So they don't talk about other things and other players and other kind of things, maybe longest field goal or maybe how many field goals the team's going to score, how many sacks they're going to get. So we bet tons. I bet tons of props. And of course, it's all formula driven. This is no one guessing. But what I'm trying to say is put yourself in your shoes. You want points. You want action. You want excitement. You want to clap and yell and scream. No one's looking to bet unders. And I bet 80% unders. I'm betting 80% against the public. I'm betting against the public, wanting their favorite quarterback or their favorite receiver to get yards and score and touchdown stuff. So I'm betting against the public mostly. It's common sense almost if you think about it. The bookmakers are already going to be, it's like implied odds. They're already going to inflate the numbers on the players, especially the marquee superstar players, because they know, like I said, it's the people that they know which way they're going to bet already. Believe it or not, in the end, they know which way people are going to bet. So they'll add a couple yards or a reception or two on to the number because they know which way they're going to bet. And I'll tell you what, I like betting a lot of these last minute. I'll bet a lot of these right before the game kicks. Up until the last, they're on the field, I'm betting proposition bets because the sports books are forced, Jon, to overmove these lines, even though they want the unders, because I'm going to be on the bookmaker's side most of the time. They are forced because of the pencil pushers and the guys upstairs in the office that say, oh, how do we lose? When you get a 60, 70, 80 point game, I've had games where I've gotten killed on too. So you have to, the bookmaker has to push up the lines because they don't want only one way action. they'll let someone like me come in and scoop up the under to balance their action a little more.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch you work. And listen, those of you listening at home, you just heard all of that. That is all of 100% true story. Listen to me. All of the information that I got to play with is in the CrackWins app. Download that app. It's on Apple. It's on Google. Go to crackwins.com and it will be able to get into the mind of Bill Krackomberger, which is only going to help your wallet. It absolutely helped mine firsthand last week. Unbelievable. So download that app today. There's my plug for the CrackWins app, a true testimonial from myself.
Thanks, John. Yeah, we're going to have plenty of props this weekend. I usually only release 2 or 3, the CrackWins guys. I hope they're going to be strapping in because we're going to be releasing many more this weekend. I'll probably have at least 5 a game, and then in the Super Bowl, I'll upwards of a dozen props. So get your bankroll ready.
Get it ready for sure. And along those lines, when you're done downloading the app, also they should check out WSN.com, right? And they can do some of that line shopping we were talking about.
Absolutely. I just finished like I always do. I always check WSN out before we go on air to see what the latest is because they have new articles up every day. It's a pretty good article about this weekend's Kansas City Chiefs game up there. Love it. So not only that, there's articles about just the gaming jurisdictions like I talk about every week. Matter of fact, the first article on the site, if you click on all articles, is about Michigan starting sports betting just in time for this weekend's AFC NFC Conference Championships. Friday, they start their first sports betting there, and the mobile app's going live. So great job to Michigan, and we'll see what happens there. Let me tell you something. I've been in those 3 casinos there in the Motor City. They love gambling. This is hardcore gambling, baby. These guys are going to be firing this weekend. Sports betting, looks like that's one place I'd like to go on one of these Sundays during the NFL. I can imagine what's going on there. Fun stuff.
Yeah. So, Crack, the other thing that was fun stuff was seeing you in your element and seeing just exactly how many people know exactly who you are, from the restaurants to being in the sports book to walking in the hotel to we were parked the car in the garage and somebody spotted you and came running over. All of this true. It was pretty cool. And I even told you then, you even remind me of my dad a little bit when you get recognized in public, because not only are you humble about it, but we were in a rush. Like that guy that came up to us in the parking lot, we were in a rush to get into the casino. And it didn't matter to you. You actually stopped. You didn't even walk and talk. You stopped and spoke to him for a few minutes. And I think that is what makes you so special to people, is that humility and that just genuine nice guy personality that they probably see here on the show is exactly who you really are in person. And it was really fun. I can't say enough about this trip. I'm so glad I went. It was really a lot of fun. Thank you for inviting me.
There was an old guy walking through the parking lot, and he said, "Hey, Crack, wait, can I see you? I want to meet you for a second." And yeah, sure. I have my mask on too. It's amazing how I guess the hat gives it away, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a nice guy. And I was in a rush to get to the book in that place. You're absolutely right. But I'm not going to – listen, I have to admit it. I'll miss getting a plane to talk to somebody that wants to address me and thinks I'm somebody special. Because like I said, I just feel – matter of fact, if you remember, when it was over, I was like, I know it's just a sports bettor, but they think that's more than that. And then they want a game. They want to help. They want to talk to. And I'll always ask them about themselves, One of the things that I read in the book one time, it's a great way, not that I even want to influence somebody, but if someone takes their time to talk to Bill Krackomberger and wants to ask me a question, I want to take the time and turn it right back on them. Ask them what they do for a living and tell them a little tidbit. Maybe this is just make sure you don't overbet your bankroll or whatever it may be. So that's what I do. And it is about being humble and trying to help someone. And, I even told that guy to get a hold of me. Like I usually don't get my number out. Yeah, I told the guy to get a hold of me because I was in a rush. And why not? It was
great.
I always remember the Jackie Gleason line from one of my favorite shows, like I told you, The Honeymooners. Be kind to people you meet on the way up because you meet the same people on the way down.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's great.
But I'm just in general, just be nice to everybody.
And then even we were sitting in the sports book and there was like a row of guys in front of us, like 4 or 5 guys, and they recognized you and they tried to buy you a drink. You politely declined. And then you did the ultimate like Frank Sinatra celebrity baller move. An hour later, you bought all of them a round of drinks. Like it was really, it was really cool. It was.
You're scary. You're so perceptive. Yeah, not that I was declining their drink, because I don't drink. I would have a bottle of water.
Right.
But I had a full bottle of water there, and I had one of those zero Gatorades that I just got them. And then I just automatically, I'm going to buy whoever asked me I'm going to buy them all drinks for sure. So I bought all 4 of those guys. That was nice. I just try to be nice to the guys. They were just fans of the game. The guy had a team shirt on. They were all yelling and screaming. So I just thought it was the nice thing to do there. But thanks for noticing, John.
Yeah, and then one last thing about our Atlantic City trip, and then we will do a deep dive on NFL playoffs, because I know everyone listening is probably like, okay, get to the playoffs already. I want to publicly apologize to the city of Atlantic City, because I've had nothing good to say about Atlantic City for 20 years. This is the last time I was in Atlantic City. And I used to say, and no offense to those of you that are in Pittsburgh, I used to say Atlantic City is Pittsburgh, but with slot machines. And I would like to retract that horrible statement, because Atlantic City is great now. We went to that one Ocean Casino. Is that the name of it? Ocean?
Hard Rock, all brand new. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I was blown away. We ate in that nice restaurant in Ocean, and the view.
We went to breakfast at Harper's, right?
Right. We went to Harper's. Yeah.
Great spot.
Yeah. And you could see the ocean, like all glass. I was blown away. Atlantic City has changed. And so, yes, I owe Atlantic City an apology. And anytime you want another wingman in Atlantic City, I am on the Spirit Airlines. Can't wait. I'm in.
My man. Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk NFL playoffs. We've got some exciting stuff ahead this week. Obviously, Tom Brady was victorious last week, and now he's going to go up against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. What are your thoughts on this one, Crack?
This is going to be a rare Bill Krackomberger moment. I've only had one NFL side for my Crack wins guys this year, which was the Rams over Seattle. They were taking 3 and they won outright 30-20. This is going to be my second one. I am betting the Green Bay Packers, and I am recommending my guys go Green Bay Packers. So that's a rare side here I'm giving out. I think Green Bay will, end Mr. Brady's reign. I know it's against that 20-year guys, and he's having a great season. And again, most importantly, I will not have more money on this game than I will have on a college basketball game today. But I do like Green Bay. Every Wise Guy syndicate I know, all the sharpest guys in the world are on Green Bay in this game, and I'm joining them.
I saw one of our producers gave us a stat before we came on the air here, and he reminded me that Tom Brady, this is going to be his 14th conference championship game, 14 out of 19 years. That is an incredible stat, something like 71% or whatever the math is on that one. That's amazing, right?
That's amazing. It really is. I mean, listen, this guy's the greatest of all time. That's all I could say. Montana and Brady are probably the top 2 quarterbacks ever.
Yeah, agreed. Now, the Chiefs got by the Browns last week, but Mahomes got hurt. The Chiefs were able to squeak it out. How will that affect moving forward for you? With the Chiefs, even if Mahomes is playing, is he going to be 100%? Do you factor all that stuff in? Obviously, I'm sure you do.
Sure. This should be an interesting game here. This is a game everyone's looking forward to. So the Chiefs, Mahomes, when that line first came out, people seen Mahomes, go down and queasy and everything else. So unbelievably, the line came out. A couple different the originating line books. One had Pick'em, and one had Buffalo favorite -1.5. So immediately I got a call from one of my sharp guys that I deal with, and he said, listen, even if Mahomes doesn't play, they cannot be a +1.5. They cannot be Pick'em in this game. He was right, because now we sit here now and the game is up to 3. So now I bet the game. I did bet I actually bet a good 5-figure bet on that, but only with the intention, which I never get to do throughout the year, of middling a game. So I got some pick 'em, and I got some the other way, +3. So we'll see what happens here. I actually got both sides of the game, but I have no side in the game. I'm actually rooting for Buffalo because I have a future. I'm rooting for them to win outright because I have a future on them. So I'm actually rooting for them to win outright. I have a 20-1 future at the Westgate.
And you made that bet, I believe, day one of NFL, right?
Yeah, it was week 1 NFL. I bet 1,000 to win 20,000 on the Chiefs to win the conference championship. Yeah.
You mean on the Bills?
Bills, right?
Right. And what made you do that?
Well, I gave out the Crack Wins guys too. I gave them out to win the division, and I was going to give out to win the conference championship, but I just couldn't find the odds. I feel like my brain, again, this is the same thing. It happens all the time to me. So I see 20-1 in Vegas, and I know they can't get 20-1 where they're at. They can only get 16-1 or 18-1 or 15-1. 20-1 was really good odds. So I bet it at the one casino that had it, and because I already have to win the division. I like them over New England. It was going to be either New England or them, everyone thought. So I just thought it was good odds. I know that they were predicted to have a really good season. I thought it was good value. And again, it did win, and looking to win the conference championship down here too with the Bills. Wow,
I mean, that's legendary. I wish I don't know how I missed that one.
There, after the weekend.
I love it. And as far as Mahomes goes, Dr. Chow, we had him on the show maybe 4 or 5 shows ago. Did he have an analysis of that injury?
I text him right away. See if I can find the text. Pro Football Doc. I text him right away, and hi Doc, what's the option on Mahomes? What's the opinion on Mahomes? I bet you everyone's asking you this. And the Doc sent me the article right away that he thought, and then the really good article on Outkick he put up that Mahomes is going to play, so this line is going to move, he said. So thank you to Dr. Chow, and we felt it was going. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but he had a great article at the reason why he thought he didn't even have a concussion. He thought that definitely is a little bit of a foot problem, but he thought he maybe didn't even have a concussion here. It's an interesting hypothesis by Dr. Chow, and thank you to him. We'll see what happens.
Wow. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all unfolds. I'm going to root for your Bills. I'm rooting for the Bills now for you. I'd like to see that. That's an incredible score, man, to hit a prop like that. Amazing. Okay. And so I assume, another thing, I like not watching the games. I think I liked waking up and just looking to see what prop bets won rather than sweating it out during the game. You've changed me, Bill Krackomberger.
Even though we had game on in the background, my face is, dug in on the computer still looking for the next bets. And yeah. Whether it be NBA like we were doing or NFL, doesn't matter.
Also this weekend, we've got my favorite UFC fighter returns to the octagon. Crack. Conor McGregor is fighting on Fight Island. It's an incredible card. I know you don't always watch all the fights, but I would assume you're going to watch Conor McGregor make his 2021 debut, right?
I'm not paying for it. So I mean, if I get to watch it somewhere for free or something, I'm not into, I don't know. I'm not the big Conor McGregor fan you are. I'm big on how someone is off the field as well as they are on the field, and I really don't know if he's a bad guy off the field. Yeah. I seen him do some charity commercials. I like to see that, but that could just be a publicist in his ear to make his image look a little better. This guy's throwing chairs at buses and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. I hear you. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm a super fan. I'm going to send you a link to an interview that he did a couple days ago. And if you're sitting on a plane or you got to, I don't know, I know you don't have much downtime, but if you get 20, I think it's like 20 minutes long, you should watch this interview because he acknowledges all of that stuff. And, I think it's one of those things when you become a multimillionaire and you get too much too young. We've seen it happen with baseball players, basketball players, football players, right? These guys come out of college, they become instant millionaires. And in Conor's case, he went from welfare to 4 years later, after being on welfare, he was a UFC champion. And then after becoming a UFC champion, he went up a weight class and got that belt at 155. He was the 145 champ. Then he was the 155 champ at the same time. First time that's ever happened in UFC history to be the champ in 2 different weight classes simultaneously. And then he went and did that fight against Floyd Mayweather, and he made $100 million before the age of 30. He was only like 27 years old, 28 years old. You know, you might just lose yourself a little bit in that. And I think he acknowledges, at least in this interview, he kind of acknowledges that, and he sounds like old, humble Conor. Conor's appeal to me was humble out of the cage and a little arrogant in the cage, you know, kind of like a world-class sprinter or a NFL wide receiver. They have to have that little swagger to get to that peak level, you know? And, but then Conor kind of became that guy in the cage, out of the cage, and kind of lost some of his fans. But I think now he's back to old Conor. I think you should give him a shot. That's the moral of my story. But yeah, I'm going to give out, just so I'm on the record, I think McGregor gets it done round 1. That's the prop bet I'm going to take on the Fight Island. The
fight's like 3-1. He's 3-1 favorite, right?
Yeah. He's minus 300 right as of right now. Yeah.
Did you bet the first? Did you bet McGregor by first round?
I bet I didn't yet, but I'm gonna bet McGregor by first round after I do a little line shopping.
Much better odds than laying 3-1. That'll be.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Crack. Well, let's get to some Twitter questions here. We've got some good ones for you. Are you ready for what Twitter Nation has in store?
All right.
At New York Sports Guy 210, he asks, Mahomes will play. He's telling us Mahomes will play. Yes, Mahomes will play. Mark my words. And he says over 27.5 team total, or over anything Kelsey receiving and Chiefs money line.
Well, you know,
what's your advice?
I've actually met New York Sports Guy. His name is Steve. Good guy. He knows though. He's a square guy. No, I love you, Steve. He's a good guy. But listen, I actually do like sometimes to go over on a high power offensive team, Steve. 27.5, you say team total? Well, I'll tell you what, though. Now, they're favorites, so that means they're supposed to win. So that means they may be running the ball if the odds play out and they are leading into the fourth quarter. So I actually may go over first half team total rather than go over full game team total. So I'm not doing that in this game, but I'm just giving you some suggestions of some other type of plays you may want to make because you're asking about the team total. Now, Kelsey receiving, Chiefs money line. Listen, these are square plays, Steve. You're betting over on Kelsey. Of course, it's going to be an inflated number. And Chiefs money line, well, I mean, why bet the Chiefs money line now when it's minus $1.50, $1.60? You had, a window of literally 4 hours to bet it at Pick'em to minus $1.25. Anyway, all right, good luck, Steve. Thanks for the question.
All right, next question comes to us from at Little Earl. He says, in college basketball, what is a desirable difference for a middle? What's a desirable difference?
Another
that term.
Guy that follows us, Little Earl, fellow Jersey guy. What is the desirable difference? Well, I'll tell you. When he's talking about a middle, that means betting both sides of the game. So you want to bet something -3 and +5. Bet both sides and hope it lands at the 4, or you side a game, which it lands on 3, which means, or 5, which means you would push 1 and win 1. There's a no-lose opportunity when you talk about middles. You're only going to lose the juice it costs to obtain that middle. So the desirable difference, I would want to, I don't middle college basketball, but if you want to middle something, I would literally start at a low number. I'd rather middle something like -2 and +4 than I would middle something -16 and +18. The lines there, it's more random to land 16, 17, 18, even though that's the line in the game. Especially you want to check on the totals. If it's the lower the total is, the more the line should come into play. So going back to your Little Earl there, if you're going to start middling things or want to middle things and you have the indicators in the market to do that and the power and skill sets, I would definitely go for the lower total games, and I would go for the sides being lower, like the -2 to +4.
All right. Very good. Very good. Last question comes to us from at Spongeballs. Great name. At Spongeballs. He says, how does one not get pump faked by line movement early? For example, this game opened -4 and went to -6 on Rhode Island to find it settled back on +4 to Duquesne.
Yes. Very good. This is also not really talking about middles, but this is 4 to 6 is a decent middle. How do you not get pump faked? Well, I have a good answer for you. You join Crack Wins in the Crack Wins app because we're not going to get pump faked on too many games, but we may be part of the pump fake. And when he says pump fake, let me give you the real word. It's manipulated. So you'll have a manipulation of a line. Like I'll use his example. This game opened -4, and actually it was bet at the marquee, the key spots. It was bet by somebody or some group or a syndicate to make it go up to 6. And now that syndicate or group comes in on the +6 everywhere, because let's face it, everyone copies 1 or 2 different lines. There's not someone at each one of these sports books making a line. There's no bookmakers left. They're going to, let's mention the books. They're going to copy from Chris. They're going to copy from Pinnacle. They're going to copy from Circa or Westgate. These are the sports books that make the line, depending on which sport it is. So they're going to copy that line. Everyone copies that line. So as soon as someone bets the wrong way at those sports books for a minimal amount, everyone copies. So that means you could jump on the other side of the game and get a lot more down than you had on the originating side that you were trying to, get around or pump fake, if you want to call it, or manipulate. So I know it's a little bit hard to understand, but again, it's real simple that it does happen, and you have to be careful that you're not just paying attention to those key books. Look where the line movements happened, and maybe you can narrow it down and be part of those pump fakes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, listen, you mentioned the Crack Wins app. And again, I can't stress enough. I'm so glad I got to see you in your element at work. I mean, folks listening at home, listen to me. I ate with this man multiple times. He's working all through dinner, working through lunch. He's got his phones open. I mean, it was amazing to see that. I must have spent a good, I don't know, I wasn't keeping track exactly, but 10 straight hours with you. And you're working the entire time, and he's working for you guys. Download Crack Wins. It's on Apple. It's on Google Play. You can just go to crackwins.com if you want. It will change your life. I promise you, if you're a sports bettor and you're not following Bill Krackomberger, you're just losing out. I mean, plain and simple. I witnessed it firsthand for myself. I mean, I've been using the picks from the app, but watching your process of how you get there was really eye-opening. And I have such a newfound, I already had a respect for you, but it's through the roof. I mean it, Bill, because watching you do what you do, and your dedication to the players, to your customers, really is what it is. And you even catch yourself doing it. I remember we were at Ocean, or at Harper's at Ocean, and you were working, and then you said, okay, you know what? Let's just eat. Let's put the phones down. Let's just eat and enjoy the meal. And you have to make a conscious effort, I think, to do something like that, don't you?
I apologize to you. If you remember, I said, John, I'm so sorry to do this. I had double iPads open with my line screens and my lines, and listening to my guys and trying to get games out there for the customers. And it's just so many different things I'm doing. There's not enough hours in the day when there's cross sports going on or whatever it may be. So it's kind of a rude thing I have to realize, and I catch myself sometimes. Say, you know what? Let's spend 8 minutes of eating. And thanks, John. Thanks for realizing it, and thanks for the plug.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it really was great to watch. And I look forward to doing that again, because it is a lot of fun watching you do what you do and in real time see how all this unfolds. I could go on and on. I can't say enough about it. It really was cool.
I think the party's over, John. We've come to.
All right.
Felt like I've been in a 4-round fight with Mike Tyson here for a rare show without a guest. So it's just been me and you.
Yeah. Well, it is that time. And so I look forward to seeing you again next week. We have an incredible guest next week. Should I tease it right now, or do you want me to wait?
You want to make sure it's official before we tease it.
All right, fine. I'm all right. I won't tease it. I know it's official, but I won't tease it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. All right. Well, good luck this weekend.
Right.
Looking forward to the next round of prop bets as well.
All right. Great, Jon.
All right. We'll see you guys next week on Wise Kracks.